Okay, let's get straight into it. Then you got the new album, Opus Ferox, The Great Escape, which is a very interesting title.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about the title, please?
Yeah, well, it's I'm a big horror fan, and Cannibal Ferox and stuff like that. I always wanted to use the title Ferox in some context somewhere, and I thought the lyrics on this album was actually pretty aggressive, even though the music is kind of not aggressive. Well, it is from time to time, but I thought the Opus Ferox suited the lyrics very well. And The Great Escape is kind of it's a distillation of the story in one single track, so to speak. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And does the album itself tell a whole story, or is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a concept album for sure.
Okay, cool.
It's not like there's a coherent story through the whole timeline, but they're definitely related, all of them.
Cool. Yeah, I was trying to work that out. I was reading the lyrics, and obviously it's not like Operation Mindcrime, for example.
No,
where it does tell. Yeah. So I wasn't too sure myself.
No, I remember an old interview with Queensryche where the interviewer said something like, "Are you really planning a subversive revolution against the government?" And Chris DeGarmo responded, "No, I'm just writing about cars and women and shit." I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sorry, go on.
Well, just having some kind of distance to what you're doing is always healthy.
Yeah. Obviously, this is the first full album with Jonas on vocals.
Yeah.
I just say Jonas because I'm probably going to butcher his surname if I try and pronounce it.
It's good enough, man.
Why did you decide to step away from the vocal position and bring in a full-on vocalist after so long?
About 20 years ago. But no, not really. I was the reason I started singing with Loch Vostok was that I had the ability, and I was so dead tired of vocalists, because all vocalists are hypochondriacs. They're all like, "Oh, my throat," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to do this again." When I'm starting Loch Vostok, so I just decided to sing myself. But then after maybe 15 years of singing in Loch Vostok, I literally snored my vocal cords to shreds. Because I used to be extremely fat.
Wow.
So I had this, sleep apnea and shit like that. I used to be, I don't know, stone and stuff like that, but 150 kilos.
Wow.
So I was really big. So I didn't really have the ability to sing the old songs. So then we started down tuning for the Dystopium album, where I was able to sing again, still pretty good, but then I just got tired of it,
Yeah.
I always wanted to, run around on stage and pose more. Now that I was about 45 kilos lighter, I really wanted to do it too.
Yeah.
And I've known Jonas for about 20 years. We was talked about doing something together, and we met at there was a tour like 3 years ago with Dream Theater, Tesseract, Free Kitchen, Animals as Leaders, and some other more bands. And I met Jonas there, and I said, let's just stop talking about it and you start singing with Loch Vostok. He's like, all right. It was that easy.
Easiest job interview ever.
Yeah. Very nice.
I mean, as well, on a more personal level there, fair play to you for losing 45 kilos. That's really impressive. And it must have been pretty devastating as well when you, like you say, you snored your vocal cords away. I mean, most of us big lads, when we snore, we wake up and we find out our girlfriend's just gone to sleep in the living room, let alone costing us our fucking position in a band, you know?
I know all about the sleeping in the living room thing.
I wouldn't mind if she took the fucking duvet with her.
Yeah. No, really. I had a really tough breakdown for about a week, and then I said, just fuck it, you know. Let's just. This is the hand I've been dealt. Let's just play it wisely.
Okay.
And that's what I did.
Yeah. But I mean, the subsequent result is a very positive one, even if it was a tough ordeal, because I mean the new songs sound excellent, and obviously you kind of tested the waters a little bit by releasing When the Wolves Have Eaten Everything. So I knew it had wolves in it, but I was like, oh, I can't remember the full title. But you released that last year, before, obviously quite a while before the rest of the album.
Yeah.
How was the initial fan response to Jonas on vocals?
I would say overwhelmingly good.
Okay.
Because everybody knew that we kind of, you know, talked about it immediately, and that it was my deepest wish that you all should welcome Jonas wholeheartedly, because I don't want to sing anymore.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not able, I just don't want to.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
So and it worked very well, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's a cool video as well, which complements the music. How was recording the album? Obviously, this is, like you say, you've been talking about with Jonas about working together on music for so long. When it finally came time to recording, how did that process go?
Very smooth. It started with us. I had already demoed the songs and sent them out to the guys in the band. They did their part of rewriting, and we sent it back and forth for about 3 months or something like that. And then we went down to a town called Eskilstuna, where Lawrence, the drummer, lives. He would appreciate the Chilean flag, I guess. Because that is a Chilean flag, isn't it? Yeah. And we went down to Eskilstuna, recorded the drums, and then I had the drum sound finished, and then we sent out to everyone, recorded their own parts at home.
Okay.
Because Jonas got a really good studio where he lives in Sundsvall, which is about 4 hours from where I live.
Okay.
We're all spread out all over the country. So it's me on the East Coast. It's Patrick in Stockholm. It's Niklas in Uppsala, Jonas in Sundsvall, and Lawrence in Eskilstuna. So it's all over the place. So we only do like weekend rehearsals. We meet and, you know, have dinner and a full weekend of rehearsals. So whenever everybody had recorded their parts, we sent all the material to Ronny Björnström, who mixed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we had a Skype conversation like this, all of us, where he did a live mix of the album.
All right, cool.
Which was very interesting. It was everybody could, speak their mind, and so input from the whole band is great.
Cool. And was much changed around, or was it basically decided that the music was more or less fine as it was? So.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. And like you say, you're recorded individually, mostly because you're in different parts of the country. Did the COVID play a part in you having to record separately, or do you think you would have done that the same way?
Well, I would probably have recorded Patrick in my studio if it weren't for COVID. But other than that, no. So it was recorded as intended, actually, for most part.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Like you say, you released the video for Where the Wolves Have Been last year. You've also done a new one for Disillusion.
Yeah.
Were you able to film these on location? Were they all done by green screen, or how was the filming process?
All of them were recorded at locations.
Okay.
Wolves was recorded in Sundsvall, actually, because COVID didn't have a real good spread there yet. Okay. So we took a chance and recorded it. And it was during the summer, and the COVID spread not as severe in the summer. So we took a chance on that, and then we did the same thing with Disillusion, but we moved it to another town that didn't have a really good COVID spread.
Was that yet as well, or?
Huh?
Was that not a very good COVID spread yet as well, or?
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, we were very cautious with disinfectant stuff like that. So
yeah, that's the way to be.
Yeah.
It's also very interesting artwork for this album. Can you explain a little bit about the themes behind it and who did the artwork?
Patrick did all the artwork.
Okay, cool.
He works in commercial filming and commercial banner making and everything. He's a great artist in every sense. He directed the videos as well. So and the theme behind the album is that it's set in an alternative Sweden between, I'd say, maybe 76 and 96.
Okay.
Where the Cold War actually happened. And we're in a resistance against the papacy. We call it the papacy. It's a religious political elite that we're revolting against.
Yeah.
And that's we all have our different views on it. The views are ranging from having Fury Road in mind, and or any other Mad Max movie in mind.
Yeah.
And also like the Cuban Revolution and everything that's revolutionary or revolt against.
Yeah. As you can see behind me there, I've know a little bit about that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, though. I think normally when it's like an alternative history idea, it's normally just what if the Nazis won, or what if the Soviet Union kept expanding west to Finland and Sweden, the rest of Germany, or whatever. So it's interesting to have ideas like that, like a religious and that kind of thing brought into the Cold War aspect of it, because we don't really consider that as a rule when it comes to that kind of fiction.
Well, what would happen? What would happen during the Cold War if the nukes landed in Europe? Who would survive? Probably the clerics from the Vatican, the rich political elite, the religious leaders. They would survive.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they would rule Europe.
Yeah.
Afterwards, and we are the resistance against that.
Yeah, and there would be a resistance as well. I mean, I remember seeing a clip of Margaret Thatcher taking questions from children, and one of them asked her if nukes started flying, does she have a bunker or somewhere where she could hide? And she just would not answer the question from this 6-year-old or whatever it was.
Of course you have.
Yeah. And, Margaret Thatcher was a bitch. Who knew?
Oh, what a no-brainer! Yeah, definitely. We have those kind of political leaders all over Europe now, who are just spreading hate instead of spreading love, which is ridiculous. It's stupid, and then it's destroying Europe.
Yeah. What's it like in Sweden at the moment? Because obviously people pay attention to assholes like Boris Johnson and Bolsonaro in Brazil, and Macron's not too popular.
We have our own assholes, of course, and plenty of them too. I'd say Swedes are so spoiled because we haven't had a war in like 350 years. We haven't known crisis since the potatoes ran out in the 1900s. And everybody moved to the United States, and we haven't had a crisis like that since then. In times of no crisis, you think of normal difficulties as a crisis.
Yeah.
And every, the name for a criminal, desperado.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Because they're desperate.
Absolutely.
They have to do something to feed the fucking family.
Yeah.
You're desperate. And that's the whole thing with criminals.
Yeah. I mean,
then there's, people who like to be criminals, but they're like 17-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
But exactly. Setting groups against groups, especially the real victims against victims, is just stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, because of the pandemic, live shows are very few and far between at the moment. So, what plans have you got to further promote the
album? We have the restrictions are a lot lighter now in Sweden. So we got 2 shows booked on the 30th and 31st of July here. Both going to be release parties for the album, of course, in 2 different towns here, Stockholm and Östhammar, where I live. And then on the the 12th of September, we're playing in Bucharest in Romania at a big festival there, because all the restrictions have been lifted from Romania.
Very interesting. I wasn't aware of that.
No, I weren't either until a week ago.
Yeah, it makes sense now you think about it, because I was watching the Euros in Bucharest. The stadium was more or less full, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and then we got a tour in March of 22 as well.
Cool.
A European tour with Orphan Land.
Oh yeah.
From Israel. And we played with them before, so we know the guys. Yeah. It's going to be great.
Yeah, they're good guys as well. They are.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Cool. Well, Teddy, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me today, mate. I really do appreciate it. I'm glad we were able to get it going.
No problema, amigo.
Gracias. Tack så mycket.
Ja, varsågod.
Look after yourself now.
Yep. Take care and keep in touch.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Bye now.
Thanks.